Umpires for tonight's game will be John James behind the plate. Mike Thompson's at first base. Fred Spen is at second base, and the third base umpire is Jeff Brown. And as you're aware, the umpires of Major League Baseball are still not working, and these are amateur umpires to some extent. Fred Spen is a professional umpire. Joe Tate and I were talking prior to the going on the air. Some interesting comments in the newspapers this morning. All over Major League Baseball, they have some of the umpires who are, I don't know whether they're on strike or they're locked out, difference of opinion, how you phrase it, but they're not working. And they pick at the ballparks, and they are passing out literature outside the ballpark, and they are extensively interviewed by television and radio people, and of course newspaper people. Here in the Texas papers this morning, one of the umpires was quoted as saying that if Fred Spen umpires in the American League, he will never work with him, he will never ride in the same taxi cab with him, and he will never go any place that he is. Fred Spen is a professional umpire, and he's been signed apparently to a 3-year contract by the Major Leagues. And the other umpires say that when they go back to work, they don't say if, I think they know that someday this thing will be settled, they'll go back to work. But they say there's not a Major League umpire presently who will ever work in the same ballgame with Fred Spen, so this situation is not good to start with. And as it is prolonged, I think there'll be some more hard feelings and some harder feelings go along, and it's really not good for the game and for anybody. And hopefully it'll be settled one of these days in the near future. In Major League Baseball this afternoon in the American League, Toronto is to play at Chicago. It has been postponed because of rain. They'll try it again tomorrow afternoon. New York is at Baltimore. It is Figueroa against Palmer. Each team scored 2 in the first inning. They have now played 3, and it is 2-2. Chris Chambliss had a home run in that game. His first of the year just came in the 4th inning, and so the Yankees have taken at least a 3-2 lead. They're still batting in the 4th. Detroit is in Kansas City. They'll try it again after being rained out last night. Billingham against Gura. Later on, Minnesota's at California. The Twins bombed the Angels in Tanana last night, 8-1. Oakland will be in Seattle, and Boston and Milwaukee are not scheduled. They'll play their final game in that series tomorrow. In the National League, the St. Louis Cardinals were to entertain the Chicago Cubs, and they were rained out. Montreal and New York played. They went 11 innings. Yesterday they went 14. Today they did it in 11. And it was Montreal winning it by a count of 3-2, the same score they beat them by yesterday. 3 runs on 10 hits and no errors for Montreal. 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Mets. They had just 5,980 in New York. It was Rogers, Sosa, Fryman, and Bonson for Montreal. Falcone and Lockwood worked for the Mets, with the win going to Sosa, the save for Bonson, and it was Lockwood taking the loss. Sosa, already in this young season, has won 2 and lost 1. Tony Perez had a home run in the 11th inning to win that game. Cincinnati's at Atlanta tonight. Cincinnati Reds are leading 5-0. Atlanta batting in the bottom half of the 3rd. That's Hume against Solomon. Pittsburgh in Philadelphia, Blyleven against Carlton, and they're all tied up at 1. They have gone 3 innings. The Dodgers will be in Houston with Sutton going against Ken Forsch, and San Diego will be in San Francisco, and that rounds out the Major League Baseball action. And in the NBA tonight, playoffs underway. New Jersey at Philadelphia. Atlanta will be in Houston. And here in Arlington, Texas, they tell us it is 67 degrees. The wind is blowing in from right field, but it's right now just a very gentle breeze. And it really should not affect the flight of the baseball too much. Eric Wilkins warming down in the Indian bullpen. His opposing pitcher, Steve Coma, has finished his warm-ups, and he is in the Ranger dugout waiting for the Rangers to charge onto the field. 330 feet down the left and right field lines here in Arlington, Texas. 400 feet to center field, 370 in the power alleys, and there's an 11-foot fence that circles the ballpark. There are seats completely circling this ballpark. It is really a one-deck affair, and the seats in the outfield are considered their bleacher seats, and everything else around the other area are reserved or box seats. And we will now have the playing and the singing of our national anthem. This broadcast is authorized in the broadcast rights granted by Cleveland Indians Company solely for the entertainment of a listening audience. Any rebroadcast of the use of the accounts and descriptions of this game without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians and 3WE Radio is prohibited. Steve Comer on the mound for the Texas Rangers. This young man has had a very interesting story. He went to the University of Minnesota. And Comer was not drafted. In June of 1976, they drafted 786 youngsters from colleges and high schools. They did not add Comer to their list. And funny things happen in baseball. During the Winter Instructional League that year in Sarasota, the manager of the Texas Ranger Farm Club needed some help, and he called the scout, Joe Marchese, from up around Minnesota. And he in turn called somebody else, and they put a call into Vic Sievitz, who was at the University of Minnesota. He's the baseball coach there. And they asked about Comer. He said, I think he's a pretty good kid. They asked for his telephone number, and it didn't take much to persuade him to head for Florida. Comer then was working in a construction crew. He went to Florida, and what happened after that is history. He was 7-2 in 1976. He went to Tulsa in 77, was 7-4, 6-4 in 1977 with Tucson. And last year with the Texas Rangers, won 11 and lost 5 with an earned run average of 2.30. Against the Indians, he was 2-0 with an earned run average of 1.59. Toby Harris set to step in. Steve Comer set to go. Joe Tate is always ready to go, and he's here to tell you that it is.
Beautiful night for baseball. Thank you, Herb. Good evening, everybody. The right-hander, Steve Comer, looks in, gets the sign from Jim Sundberg. The first pitch of the ball game. High and inside, off the mid of Sundberg, back to the screen, ball one. Toby Harris, right-hand batter, 3 for 17 on the year with an RBI, 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. Comer deals again, a swing and a miss, and the count evens at 1-1. We have had a last-minute change for the Texas Rangers at first base. Putnam is playing first base in place of Jorgensen. 1-1 to Harrell, low and away. 2 balls, 1 strike. I have heard nothing to the contrary. I will assume that Putnam is in Jorgensen's number 8 spot in the order. We'll just wait and see when they line him up offensively. Harris stepping back. 2-1 count on the right-hand batter. Wind up by Comer. 2-1 pitch. And Harrell looks at a slider for a strike, and the count is 2-2. Comer and Wilkins squared off in this one tonight at Arlington Stadium in Arlington, Texas. Comer ready. Now, not ready. Steps back. All set. Delivers. Harrell lifts a foul ball. That'll go to the right, and it'll also go well out of play. Sundberg giving chase, but no chance. And the count remains at 2-2. Defensively, it is Putnam at first base, Wills at second, Norman at short, Bell at third, Sample in left, Oliver in center, Grubb in right, Sundberg catching, and on the mound, the right-hander, Steve Comer. Wind up, 2-2 pitch. Harrah takes the fastball low, and a full count of 3-2. Dave Garcia coaching at third base. Joe Nasick on the first base side. Payoff pitch to Toby Harris. Swing! And it's struck out.
Well, there's something I haven't seen, Joe. Sitting in the box seat area, a few rows behind the Indian dugout, Derwood Merrill and Jim Evans, American League umpires. They have their umpiring uniforms on, and I wonder if they're paid to get in the ballpark.
Rick Manning, a left-hand batter. This will be his first at-bat this season. Bell to the edge of the grass at third. Comer delivers. Fastball low, ball 1.
Rick had a good spring. He finished spring training getting 5 hits in his last 6 at-bats.
Bobby Bonds on deck. Wind up in the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball outside and high, 2-0. Comer has not faced a batter since he worked 4 innings against the Yankees in an exhibition game on March the 30th. Wind up in the 2-0 pitch. A foul ball well back out of play to the left. And the count is 2-1. Comer, 111 and lost 5. He was 2-0 against the Indians in 2 relief appearances. Wind up by Steve on the 2-1 pitch, and Manning hits it hard to third. Bell on one knee. Backhands up, throw, got it. Buddy Bell went to one knee toward the foul line. Backhanded the ball, straightened up and threw out Manning. And there are 2 outs in the first inning. It's Bobby Bonds. Bonds 4 for 18 of the year with a run batted in 0 for 4 last night. Right-hand batter. The outset, Herb Comer looks very quick.
Yes, he is.
Pitch, a ball, low ball one.
Throws the ball well. Good slider. He threw to. They got Toby Harris.
A 1-0 pitch, and Thornton out, Bonds out in front of a breaking ball, and the count is 1-1.
Changed up.
One ball, one strike with 2 outs. Bonds being played to pull with power, and the ball is bunted foul back to the base of the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Andre Thornton on deck. In the top half of the first inning, Steve Comer looks in, gets the sign from Sundberg. 1-2 pitch to Bonds, outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Comer, 6'3", 207 pounds. 2-2 pitch. Again out in front of the breaking ball, and this one is bounced foul over to the third base dugout. Dave Russello, sitting on the dugout steps, picks it off. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bonds kicking the dirt around to the batter's box. Harris struck out. Manning bounced to third. 2-2 pitch to Bonds. Way outside. Sundberg leaping quickly to his right, picked it off, and a full count of 3-2. Tomorrow night, Waite against Jenkins in the finale of this series. And it's off to Boston. Here comes the payoff pitch. Bonds swings away and chops it foul beyond the dugout. It's still 3-2.
Looks like the umpires had somebody else's seats there being asked to move.
That's the second time I've seen them move since they came in. Somebody better check those stubs. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Bonds. Wraps it back to the shortstop. On the third hop, Norman has it. Throws and got him by less than a step. So in the first inning, Steve Comer puts him away 1-2-3. And at the end of 1/2 inning, the Indians nothing and the Texas Rangers are coming to bat.
Nobody's quite like you. You got your own thing to do. You like your beer light and clear, refreshing like mountain air. You like your blue jeans older, like your mountains colder. Head for the mountains of bush. Reach out and you'll be here. Just reach out and you'll be here in the mountains of Bushville. Head for the mountains of Bush. Reach out and you'll be here. Just reach out and you'll be here in the mountains of Bushville.
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains of Bush. Mountains of Bush, St. Louis, Missouri.
Checking the defensive alignment for the Cleveland Indians, Andre Thornton at first base, Dwayne Kuiper at second base, Tom Verizor at short, Toby Harrah at third, Ted Cox in left, the center fielder Rick Manning, the right fielder Bobby Bonds, the catcher is Gary Alexander, and on the mound, young Eric Wilkins. Frank Lucchese coaching at third base, Fred Koenig at first, and it will be Will Sample and Oliver to test Eric Wilkins. Buck Wills, a switch hitter, going to the left side against right-hander Eric Wilkins. 2 for 8 on the season and 0 for 4 in last night's game. Harrah comes to the edge of the grass at third, just inside the cut of the grass. And Eric Wilkins winds up and delivers, and the first pitch is ripped foul to the left, back up into the chairs. There's a fellow walking along with about 10 hot dogs and 6 or 7 soft drinks, and that thing went right by his ear. He didn't realize that he was in the flight path till he heard it go by. Oh, if that had hit, what a mess. Strike 1 the count. Wind up. Wilkins throws to Wills. A line drive right at Dwayne Kuiper. 1 out. Wills smashes a liner right back to Kuiper at second base, and there's 1 down, and it brings on Bill Sample, the left fielder. Sample 1 for 4 with an RBI in the season and 0 for 3 with an RBI in the sacrifice fly last night. Sample sporting a red 5 trimmed in blue on the back of his Flight Home Texas uniform. The Indians, of course, in the traveling gray. Tribe will be home next Tuesday against these Texas Rangers at 12:05 at the stadium. Wind up and the pitch, and Sample wraps a bouncer to his left. Toby Hara picks and throws. Got him. Toby Hara ranging along the edge of the grass, running towards second base. Made the pickup of the bouncing ball and then threw a line at first, and that is 2 away. This brings on Al Oliver. Al Oliver was the hitting hero out here last night with 2 colossal clouts through a 40-mile-an-hour wind into the seats and right. A left-hand batter. 3 for 8 on the year, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in, 2 for 4 last night with 2 homers and 3 runs batted home. Lined up by Wilkins, and here comes the first pitch to Oliver, and he takes the strike at the knees, strike 1. Harrell pulled well off the line at third. Outfield pulled around. Strike 1 pitch. Oliver swing and a miss on a breaking ball, strike 2. I have asked you this before, Herb, but it seems appropriate to ask again. Do you remember your first start in the big league?
Yes, I do.
What happened?
Long time ago, back in Detroit.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Way back. We won the game, but it was a struggle.
Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Oliver. High fastball, 1-2.
I think I walked 10 men. I didn't wind up many times that day. It was always in the stretch.
1 ball, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. First inning. No score. Tribe went in order against Coleman. Wilkins lines up and delivers the 1-2, and Oliver swing and a miss, struck him out.
Good fastball by Eric.
So it's 3 up, 3 down against Wilkins in the first. We've played 1 at Arlington. The score, Cleveland nothing, Texas nothing.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83 and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
It's different. It's exciting. It's the kind of club that you wish you'd known about sooner. Marco Polo, the super disco for people over 21, with the finest selection of current music and the sound system unconditionally guaranteed to shake your senses and your soul. Every Wednesday is ladies' night, and happy hour lasts all day long. Marco Polo, 1605 West 5th Avenue in Columbus, right across from North Star.
Of the Pirates going long ball in the 5th inning of play, hitting a 2-run homer. And that is going to put the Pirates on top 4-2. The Yankees now have a 5-2 lead on Baltimore, with Baltimore batting in the 5th. Andre Thornton leads off with the second inning for the Indians. 1 for 13 on the year with an RBI, 1 for 4 last night. Comer delivers, and Thornton hits a bouncing ball to the shortstop. Norman picks it up, throws across, and there's 1 away. Andre Thornton grounding to the shortstop. Brings on Gary Alexander, the Cleveland catcher. Alex 1 for 13 on the year with an RBI and 1 for 3 in last night's ball game. Dodgers failed in the first at Houston tonight. Sutton against Ken Forsch, and of course the interesting sidelight or even highlight to that game is that Ken Forsch, who pitched a no-hitter the last time out, is going to try and go for 2 in a row tonight. Alexander, 1 out, nobody on. First pitch to Alex, going to bunt the ball, shoves the bat back out of the way in time, ball 1. Pitch was away. Kind of opened up the middle for Alex with the center fielder shaded into left center. Shortstop Norman pulled over and back. 1-0 pitch, and Alex hits a high fly ball to right field. Going over is Johnny Grubb toward the foul line. Reaches out, makes the running catch. Neatly done by Grubb in right, 2 down. Here's Jim Norris with Manning back in the lineup. Norris has returned to the DH role and has been moved down to the number 6 spot of the order. Jim is 6 for 16 on the year and 1 for 4 in last night's ball game. Norris has hit safely in all 4 of the Indian ball games. He also has the team leadership in steals with 3. Ted Cox on deck. Wind up in the pitch. Norris drives it off to the left, and it is a foul ball. Strike 1. Strike 1 the count. Bell in on the grass at third. Wind up in the strike 1 pitch. Fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ted Cox on deck. Now the wind up on the 1-1 pitch. Norris fouls it back over the standing screen into the seats in the second section. This is, for all intents and purposes, a single deck affair all the way around, but they do have a raised section behind home plate. There is an upper deck behind us, up over the press box, swinging a foul to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That has just been recently added here. And they put this ballpark together back, I believe, in about 1965 for AAA ball. It seated 9,000. Bouncing ball off the bat of Norris to third on a high hop to Buddy Bill, who grabs and rifles to first just in time to get Norris. And the side is retired again, 1-2-3. At the end of an inning and a half, it is Cleveland nothing, Texas nothing.
Nobody quite like you. You got your own thing to do. You like your beer light and clear, refreshing like mountain air. You like your blue jeans older, like your mountains colder. Head for the mountains of bush. Reach out and you'll be here. Just reach out and you'll be here in the mountains of bush beer. Head for the mountains of bush. Reach out and you'll be here. Just reach out and you'll be here in the mountains of bush beer.
Don't just reach for a beer. Head for the mountains of bush. Animals of bush. Say North Missouri.
In the home half of the second inning, Johnny Grubb, Buddy Bell, and Oscar Gamble come to bat. This afternoon in the National League, Montreal went 11 to beat the Mets 3-2 on a Tony Perez home run. Cincinnati leads Atlanta 5-1 in the 4th inning tonight. Pittsburgh 4-2 over Philadelphia in the 5th. Still to be heard from San Diego and San Francisco, and the Dodgers fail on the 1st at Houston. Wind up by Eric Wilkins. The first pitch to the left-hand batting Johnny Grubb is low, ball 1. John 2 for 9 of the year with a home run, 2 runs batted in, and 1 for 4 in last night's contest. Wind up by Wilkins, and the pitch to Grubb, and John drills a foul to the left, back into the seats, and the count evens at a ball and a strike. And Grubb also broke his bat. Toronto and the White Sox rained out in Chicago this afternoon. They'll reschedule this for tomorrow. Yankees 5-2 over Baltimore now in the 5th. Detroit failed in the 1st in Kansas City. That's Bellingham against Gura. Boston and Milwaukee are not scheduled. Minnesota plays in California, and Oakland and Seattle later tonight. In the NBA playoffs, Philadelphia leads New Jersey at the end of the first quarter, 33-22.
That is not a surprise, is it?
No. Does not surprise me.
Who do you think's going to win, ultimately?
Washington.
Washington?
Yep. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch to Grubb. Bouncing ball, shortstop riser, gets it on the hop, fires to first. Grubb is gone, and there's 1 away in the 2nd inning. And I think I have now probably just put the kiss of death on the Washington Bullets, because I have a great facility for picking wrong. But they should win it. It's my way of thinking. Here's Buddy Bell. Bell 1 for 8 of the year, 1 for 4 last night, had a double. Buddy defensively in these first 2 games has sparkled at third.
Which is no surprise to us.
That's right. Wind up. And the pitch to Bell. That hit him. And inside fastball put Buddy going by, and Bell has been hit by the pitch. Well, Buddy trots down to first base. Texas trainer comes trotting out to see if he's all right. Trainer is Bill Ziegler. Just a glancing blow. Oh, Bell at first. Alexander going out to talk to Wilkins with 1 out and now 1 on. Oscar Gamble, the left-hand batting designated hitter, is due. Oscar 1 for 4 on the year, 1 for 2 last night.
Gary Alexander going out to the mound to talk with Eric Wilkins. Calm him down a bit. He's pitching with a man on first for the first time.
Wilkins working from the stretch. Bell with a short lead at first base. Andre Thornton holding at the bag. The pitch is low and away, ball 1. This is the home half of the second inning, and there is no score. Comer put the first 6 Indians away in order, and Wilkins disposed to the first 4 Rangers before hitting Buddy Bell, and now Gamble at bat with Bell at first base. And the 1-0 pitch. Oscar drills one back over the screen into the seat. The count is even at 1-1, and a fan down below has made a fine catch. One count. Gamble sporting a full beard and a clipped afro. Same amount of hair, just relocated. Throw over to first base. Bell diving back to the bag. Didn't have to. It was just a lob throw, but Buddy taking no chances. Hit the deck. And the home plate umpire, John James, goes to work with a whisk broom. The stretch. And Wilkins delivers the 1-1 pitch. Gamble takes low. 2 balls and a strike. We'll be getting a station break to you here very shortly. Look for the sign. Wilkins the stretch. Zell leads at first. 2-1 pitch. Gamble chops the ball foul into the first base dugout, and now we will pause for station identification. This is the Cleveland Indians Baseball Network.
This spends your Sunday mornings with Gene Beatty here on 3WJ. That's WWWJ Johnstown.
2-2 count. Wilkins to Gamble, bouncing ball off the glove of Thornton, ricochets out to Kuiper, and everybody's safe. Thornton going to his right, got the heel of the glove on the ball, or vice versa. Bounced way up in the air.
Charging with an error.
Charge to Andre Thornton, and now the Rangers have runners at first and at second. And nobody out. 1 man out. This brings on the catcher, Jim Sundberg. Sundberg, 1 for 7 in the year with an RBI and 0 for 3 in last night's ball game. Right-hand batter against the right-hander, Eric Wilkins. 1 out here in the second inning. The pitch to Sundberg, he poured him a fastball, strike 1. Stretch by Wilkins, runners leading first and second. Strike 1 pitch to Sundberg, fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. On deck is Pat Putnam, first baseman, a last-minute substitution in the starting lineup. Stretch, look back, and pitch. Fastball low, 2-1. Putnam and Sample and Norman will be at least somewhat familiar with Wilkins because of the PCL. I think he told you last night he pitched against him once. Stretch, 2-1 pitch. Fastball inside. 3-1 the count. Alexander steps out in front of the plate, throws the ball, and a few words of encouragement back to Eric Wilkins.
Eric is not missing by a lot. He's just missing almost in the same spot, just above the knees off the inside corner.
Rupp opened the inning with a ground ball to short. Buddy Bell was hit by a pitch, and Oscar Gamble safe on an error charge to Andre Thornton. 3-1 count on Jim Sundberg. Stretch by Wilkins in the pitch. He flips it low, ball 4. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Bell goes to third, Gamble down to second. Sundberg on at first.
And out to the mound, Charlie Hartenstein.
The batter is Pat Putnam. Putnam, a left-hand hitter, 2 for 3 in the year with 3 RBIs. And on top of that, he had a pinch hit single for a run batted in here last night. At Tucson last year, Putnam hit .309 with 21 homers and 96 RBIs. So Hartenstein has had a chat with Wilkins and heads back into the dugout.
Number 18.
And Pat Putnam gets ready. The Rangers have loaded the bases. We're in the second inning, and there is, to this point anyway, no score in the ball game. First pitch, Putnam lifts a foul ball off to the left, a souvenir out of play, and the count is strike one. Bell at third, Gamble at second, Sundberg at first. Wind up on the pitch, swing and a miss. Went for a pitch down below the knees.
That might have been the fourth ball. Looks like the bottom really fell out of it.
Wilkins waiting while Putnam steps back, and now steps back in. Wilkins standing erect on the mound, gets the sign, glances over to third. Here's the pitch to Putnam, foul ball back over the screen into the seat, and the count is strike two. Bases loaded, one out. Wind up on the pitch. Putnam went for one low, gets away from Alexander. He goes back quickly, picks it up on the edge of the grass behind home plate, and there's no advance at third by Buddy Bell. Alex gives the ball back to Eric Wilkins, and Eric takes that walk back to the mound. A hit batter, an error, and a walk have loaded the bases for the Rangers with one out of the second inning. On deck is the shortstop Nelson Norman, the number 9 man on the Texas order. Wilkins cranks up the 1-2 pitch to Putnam. Fastball low and inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Putnam with that 18 in red on the back of the home white, steps back and then in. Rotates the bat. And ready. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a bouncing foul back to the screen. That remains even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Home half of the second inning. Rangers won last night's ball game 5-0. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch to Putnam. A high fly ball to right center field. To his right, Bobby Bonds makes the catch. Here comes Bell. The throw's going to third base. Right on over to Hara. The run scores from third on Buddy Bell. Took to the plate. Putnam with a sacrifice fly, and the Rangers lead 1-0. Bell scoring from third base, but there's no further advance. First run of the ball game, and it was accomplished without a base hit. So it's 2 on and 2 out. Here's Nelson Norman, the shortstop, right-hand batter. Norman 1 for 4 on the year, 1 for 2 last night. Gamble at second, Sundberg at first. The stretch by Wilkins. And the pitch to Norman. Swing and a miss. Strike one. On deck is Bump Wills. The stretch. Look back, and the strike one pitch, and Norman jammed with a fastball. The count is even at a ball and a strike. Look in for the sign. A stretch. Look back. 1-1 pitch. Hit hard up the middle. Verizon dives. Ball off his glove into center field. Gamble scores. Ball pops away from Manning, but he stays with it. Sundberg stops at second, and it's an RBI single for Norman to make it 2-0.
Tommy Verizon came within about a half a foot of grabbing that ball. It just went off the end of the glove.
First hit, second run.
Both these runs will be unearned, incidentally.
And that brings up the top of the order.
Eric Wilkins now has just about done it all. He has had a strikeout. He's walked a batter. He's given up a hit. He has hit a batter.
Sundberg stopped at second base. Up Wills. He opened with a line drive to the second base. Texas leads 2-0. Era coming into the edge of the grass at third base. First base side dropping back for the left-hand batter. Stretched by Wilkins and the pitch to Wills. Swing and a miss, strike one. Texas 2 runs, 1 hit. The Indians no runs, no hits, and an error. The stretch. And the pitch. Line drive into center field, a base hit. Rounding third is Sundberg. Here comes Manning. Throw to the plate. He is out at the plate.
Fine throw by Rick Manning.
Manning fired his strike to Alexander, who put the tag on Sundberg, sliding in. And the inning is over. A base hit. Well, that makes the final totals for the frame. 2 runs, 2 hits and an error with a man left, with 2 men left. And the score at the end of 2 innings of play, Texas 2, Cleveland nothing.
At Shell Auto Care, being good with your hands isn't good enough. Their mechanics have to pass tests for brake work, tune-ups, air conditioning, and front-end work. They have to be certified by Shell, the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't expect much from mechanics, but they're the people who haven't been to Shell Auto Care. It's everything you never expected car repairs to be.
Sunset in the mountains. The sparkling waters in each stream slowly turning to shining gold. The high craggy peaks quietly glow in the fading light. And a stillness falls like a soft, secret snow. It's time to sit back, relax, and feel good about the day. Sunset in the mountains. Don't miss it.
And over the mountains of Bush King.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
In the top of the third inning, the bottom 3 in the Indians order, Ted Cox, Dwayne Kuiper, and Tom Bereiser against Steve Comer. Texas now with a 2-0 lead. Steve Comer has retired the first 6 men in a row. On the scoreboard, Cincinnati has now really done a job on Atlanta again tonight. It is 9-1 with the Braves batting in the 5th inning of play. Dave Concepcion had a grand slammer in that big 4-run 5th. Ted Cox. Teddy, 0 for 8 of the year. Well, that can't be. They got him 0 for 8 in the year and 1 for 4 last night. Cox, well, his league stats have him 0 for 8 on the year, but he was 1 for 4 last night.
That's right.
And in fact was 2 for 8 coming in, so he is really 3 for 12 on the year. I'm not sure where they got the 0 for 8.
Well, the other day they had Cage without having hit 2.
Here's the pitch to Cox, low, ball 2. Well, I guess the computer doesn't get any spring training. The pitch is hit up in the air down the right field line off the bat of Cox. Putnam back, Wills over, Wills on the run in the bullpen, the ball dropped. Wills called Putnam off the ball, but the ball kept sailing away from him. Putnam actually ended up closer to it than anybody else. So Teddy is 3 for 12 on the year rather than the 0 for 8 that I had given you earlier. Count is 2-1. Steve Comer, 11-5 last year. Teddy Cox discovered his bat was broken and had to go back over to get another one. Detroit 1-0 over Kansas City at the end of 2 innings of play on a Wackenfuss home run. Pittsburgh and Philly are 4-4 with the Phillies batting in the sixth inning at Philadelphia. There's a slap up the middle by Cox into center field. A base hit. Comer put his bare hand up in the air and almost...
He ought to be
made
very
contact.
happy he didn't reach it.
That is right. It was a shot up the middle into center field. That is the first Indian hit of the ball game. And it brings to bat Dwayne Kuiper. Kuiper 4 for 15 on the season with 2 RBIs and 2 for 4 in last night's ball game. Now, Ken Forsch will not pitch another no-hitter tonight. Dodgers got him for a pair in the second inning. Yankees 5-2 over Baltimore in the sixth. First pitch, Cox on the go, and Kuiper bounced the ball foul back to the screen. Strike one count on the left-hand batting captain of the Indians, Dwayne Kuiper. Comer looks in, working from the stretch with a runner at first base, nobody out. Here's the pitch, and Kuiper takes low and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Comer, the sign from Sundberg. The stretch, the pitch. Kuiper lifts a fly ball behind the shortstop. Norman, who'd come in, goes back, but Bell's back there and took the ball right off the end of the glove. Buddy made the basket catch, but the ball was right on the fingertips of his glove, and he just hung on. One away, Cox at first, retreats to first base. Tom Verizon, right-hand batting shortstop, 9 on the order, 2 for 14 of the year with a run batted in and 0 for 4 last night. The stretch and the pitch, and Tommy takes outside, ball 1. We're in the top of the third, and the Texas Rangers have taken a 2-0 lead. Throw over to first base, and back to the bag goes Cox. Stretch in the pitch. Verizon takes low. Sundberg came up ready to throw, but Cox retreated to the bag. The error in the second inning with both runs against Wilkins in the unearned category.
Fine throw by Rick Manning that inning, and stop to consider Rick has not played since last Monday.
Stretch of the pitch. Verizon bangs the ball foul over into the third base dugout. 2 balls in the strike. Steve Comer wearing a red 11 on the back of his uniform. Cox leads at first. 1 out, 1 out. The stretch. And a throw over to first base. Teddy puts the foot back of the bag in time ahead of the tag by Putnam. August 5th, Comer won an inning in the third, picked up a 4-3 win. August 13th, he was a 6-5 winner in 4 1/3 innings against Cleveland. There's a ball off the glove as Sundberg rolls down the third base line. Sundberg quickly on top of it, and there's no advance by Cox. 2 balls to the strike.
When Comer throws that fastball low and inside to the right-hander or low and away to the left-hander, it really sinks. This ball just bore right in on him.
Toby Hare on deck. A stretch. Comer's 3-1 pitch to Verizon. Cox goes, and the ball is fouled back. 3-2. Full count of 3-2. Verizon keeping an eye on Dave Garcia, the Indians' third base coach. A stretch. And the payoff pitch. Runner goes. Verizon lifts a fly ball into center field. Oliver started back. Now he's coming on and makes the running catch. Cox on his way back to first base. The throw, not quite in time. Goes to the pitcher backing up as it came through the first baseman on the mound. Two down with Cox safely back at first base. Well, Sample Oliver is rapidly becoming a big hero down
There
there.
were 2 home runs last night. Didn't hurt him any. And, of course, he batted .324 last year. He is one of the better hitters in the American League.
Toby Harrah. Harrah struck out swinging to start the ball game against Coleman. When I was over in Salisbury at the Sportscasters and Sportswriters Convention, here's the pitch, and Harrah takes the strike 1. The host and hostess, Dr. Charlie and Marna Steinman. Marna is a relative of Toby Harrah. They come from Marion High School in Marion, Ohio. Toby says half the town is my relation. Throw over to first base, and Putnam had to go around the runner to flag that wild pitch down. He did. Cox at first base. A stretch. Strike 1 pitch. Bounces into Sundberg. Dr. Steinman is in your category, Herb. He turns in 5 miles a day, chugging up and down the streets of Salisbury. Doesn't look a day over 80.
The way I feel.
1 ball, 1 strike. The strike. The pitch. And a foul fly. First base side. Putnam chasing and lead a ticket. It's in the seat. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're in the top half of the 3rd inning. The Indians put the leadoff man, Ted Cox, on base with a single to center. The Kuiper popped up, and Verizor flied to center. And now Toby Harrah trying to keep the inning alive with a 1-2 count. And Rick Manning on deck. Comer the stretch. And then he steps back. Comer works much more slowly with people on base than he does when the base is empty.
He surely does.
Stretch, 1-2 pitch, and another foul fly. That one is deeper into the seats on the right side. And the count remains at a ball and 2 strikes. Now, Comer doesn't like the baseball that he had, and he wants another one from the home plate umpire. David Clyde, I understand, released today from Lutheran Medical Center, which is good news.
And we hope he'll be back with us soon. He's a fine young man. We miss seeing him around, and he's going to be a good pitcher.
1-2 the count. Here's the pitch, and a bouncing foul right over through the on-deck circle and into the seat.
Also good to see Wayne Garland back in an Indian uniform working out. He is eligible to come off the disabled list on April the 18th.
So is Bo Diaz.
I think he can get off on the 14th.
Or the 14th. The Garland's the 18th, and Diaz is the 14th. Right. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Toby Harrah. Stretch by Comer. Cox leads at first. Pitch to Harrah. Outside. Throw to first base, and Cox scampers back to the bag.
Jim Sundberg is a catcher who is not afraid to throw the ball, and he throws well.
Now, there are some catchers who should be afraid to throw.
That's right.
And they still do. Sundberg is not afraid and throws extremely well. Breaking ball inside. 3-2 now on Toby Harrah. Comer looks into Sundberg for the sign. A stretch. Pitch. Swing. And a miss. Toby Harrah strikes out for the 2nd time against Comer. And the inning is over. No runs and a hit with a man left at the end of 2 1/2 innings of play. It is Texas 2, Cleveland 0.
When you get your car fixed at Shell Auto Care, you get a lot of things you'd never expect. Not only do you get a written estimate in advance, you get your old parts back to inspect. You get a mechanic who's been certified by Shell or the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. And when all is said and done, every repair is backed in writing. So bring your car to Shell. It's everything you never expected car repairs to be. Missouri.
For the Rangers, Sample, Oliver, and Grubb in the 3rd inning. National League tonight. Cincinnati 9, Atlanta 2 in the 6th. Pittsburgh and Philly are 4-4 in the 7th. The Dodgers and Houston are 2-2 in the 3rd. check the American League in a moment. Here's the windup of the first pitch to Bill Sample. Fastball, high ball one. Sample bounced to the third baseman in the first inning. Yankees 5-2 over Baltimore in the seventh. Kansas City now 2-1 over Detroit in the fourth. Here it is 2-0 Texas, and we're in the third inning of play. Pitch to Sample, low. 2 balls, no strikes. Al Oliver on deck. The pitch, foul ball back over the screen, a sizzler into the seats. Fortunately, an empty chair.
I'm going to tell you, I think before we come back next time, we'll see that other screen put up again. Somebody's going to get killed back here.
They're taking some heavy shots back there. Look in for the sign by Wilkins. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. High, foul fly over the first base dugout. Thornton to the railing. No chance. 6 rows deep. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Wilkins, Thornton, Alexander all in the neighborhood, but the ball was into the chairs about 6 rows behind the first base dugout. Say hi to Grandpa from Tony and Gary, who are rooting for the Indians down here tonight. 2-2 pitch. Sample outside, fastball, full count of 3-2.
Folks who sent us the donuts last night are right back at it again tonight.
Yes, they are. They greeted us outside the ballpark. Mike and Peggy Vancic. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Low ball 4. Sample walks to start the third inning. Second walk given up by Wilkins. It brings on Al Oliver. Oliver, a strikeout victim to run the first inning of play. Well, Loretta and Peggy's parents, Mr. and Mrs. Ray Jemison, are listening in, of course, again tonight. Mike and Peggy Vancic are right here at the ballpark rooting for the Tribe. Throw to first base, put Sample back in the bag.
They're sitting just down below us. He has a Indian cap on, and she has a shirt with the Cleveland Indians mark on it.
Stretch by Wilkins. The pitch to Oliver. Wraps it by the mound. Verizon, the shortstop, flips over to Kuiper for the fourth play on Sample, but Dwayne had no chance to relay. Headman is gone. Sample out 6-4 if you scored. Shortstop for the second baseman covering. That's the first out of the second inning. Puts Oliver at first base and brings on Johnny Grubb.
Right fielder, John Grubb.
John bounced to the shortstop in the second inning, and then the Rangers went to work for 2 runs. Rangers with 2 runs, 2 hits. The Indians, no runs, a hit and error. Eric Wilkins looks in for the sign from Gary Alexander. Grubb, a left-hand batter, levels the lumber as Oliver takes the short lead at first, and Grubb wraps one, stabbed to the mound by Wilkins to second one. Reiser throws back to first for the double play. Eric Wilkins fielding his position very neatly. Picks off the one hopper, turns it into a double killing, and the inning is over. No runs, no hits, a walk, and nobody left. At the end of 3, Texas 2, Cleveland nothing.
It's a breakthrough in tire technology. Goodyear eliminates the winter tire changeover with Tiempo, the all-season steel belted radial. Tiempo by Goodyear is all the tire you'll ever need all year round. Tiempo is available at McFarland Brothers on Route 3 and 36, just south of Mount Vernon. If you drive a small car, a mid-sized car, an import, or standard American, and you want tires to fit and performance to match your car, the time to try Tiempo is now. McFarland Brothers, south of Mount Vernon on 3 and 36. It's different. It's exciting. It's the kind of club that you wish you'd known about sooner. Marco Polo, the Super Disco for people over 21. With the finest selection of current music and the sound system unconditionally guaranteed to shake your senses and your soul. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night, and happy hour lasts all day long. Marco Polo, 1605 West 5th Avenue in Columbus, right across from North Star.
Figueroa against Palmer. Kansas City 2-1 over Detroit in the fourth. Billingham against Gura. And at the end of 6 innings of play, Cincinnati 9, Atlanta 3, with Tom Hume against Solomon, Devine, and Scope. Here is inning number 4 with Herb Score.
Thank you, Joe. Hi again, everybody. The Indians trailing 2-0. They will have Manning, Barnes, and Thornton to see if they can solve the offerings of Steve Comer. So far, he is fan 2, and given up just one base hit, a single to Ted Cox leading off the third inning. Manning, his first time, grounded out to Buddy Bell, but he made a good play on him. Left-hand batter, pitch to him. Curve is high, ball 1. Comer, tall right-hander, throws. Low outside. Ball 2-0. Manning backing away, checking with Dave Garcia. As we mentioned earlier, Manning played on last Monday in Tucson, did not play since that time. Strike over the outside corner, suffering from strep throat infection. It was a week yesterday, but Indians came out and took an early workout. They worked out at 2:30 this afternoon, took some extra batting practice. 2-1 pitch. Line drive. Buddy Bell makes the play. Buddy Bell with a spectacular diving grab, a line shot to his right. He reached across, spun him around, he landed on the ground, but he hung on to the ball. Now, with Texas fans are seeing what Indian fans have seen for many years. Buddy Bell takes the base hit away from Rick Manning. Here's Bobby Bonds, thrown out on a close play by the shortstop, first time up. Low outside ball, and that's 2 good plays Buddy's made on Rick Manning.
When Buddy made that catch, Manning just stopped in the base path and stared into his face.
I don't blame him. Swing and a miss. He fooled him with a curveball. Ball 1 a strike, 1 man out. Indians trailing 2-0. We're in the 4th. Tribe will be back here tomorrow night. And it'll be Rick Waits going against Fergie Jenkins. Down too low. 7:35 game time here, 8:35 in the Eastern time zone. 2-1 pitch. Slider missed outside, 3-1. Playing Bobby around and left and deep. 3 balls a strike. Andre Thornton on deck. Indians trying to get something rolling here in the 4th. Right through the middle, 3-2. Comer winds it up. Fastball bounced forward short, cutting over Buddy, grabs it, throws, gets him. Buddy Bell ranging to his left. Buddy putting on a pretty good show here tonight. 2 men down in the 4th inning, and the batter's Andre Thornton. Andre hit a ground ball to short his first time up. Andre in this young season has had 1 base hit in 14 at-bats. Gary Alexander on deck. Inside with a slider, ball 1. Ground ball, fouled at home plate. 1 ball and a strike. Phillies had a run in the last half of the 7th inning. It is now the Philadelphia Phillies 5 and the Pittsburgh Pirates 4. Pirates are batting in the 8th. Still Bly 11 against Carlton as far as we know. Ball 1, strike 1. The wind-up, the pitch. Down too low with the slider, 2-1. They want that ball examined. Umpire behind home plate is John James. He looks it over. And he says it's okay. Wind up. 2-1 pitch. High and outside. 3-1. 2 men out. 4th inning. Indians trying to get on the scoreboard. They trail 2-0. The left fielder, Sample, almost on the warning track, and he's way around in left field. Line drive, left field line. It is curving foul. And you can see why they had him played over that way. Into 3/4 in the NBA, Philadelphia 85 and New Jersey 73. Three balls, 2 strikes. Andre Thornton steps in. Got 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Took something off. I don't know if he throws a forkball in that, but whatever that was a good pitch. He gets his 3rd strikeout. He puts the Indians down 1, 2, 3. He's now retired 6 in a row. And at the middle of inning number 4 here in Texas, it's the Texas Rangers 2, the Cleveland Indians nothing.
It's natural to want the best, to reach for the brass ring, to find the trappings, neath the wrappings. It's a natural thing. If imitation's for you, we've got something for you. Know you're gonna like it. It's the natural thing. Come on.
Come on, get daily.
Come on.
Come on, get natural.
Come up to the natural thing.
If imitation's for you, remember Daily Juice products are made with natural fruit juices, plus a bonus of vitamin C. You see, Dailies just gives fruit a little hug, and you know what a little hug does for you. Taste what it does for Dailies. Dailies Juice products, naturally.
Come on.
Come on, get daily.
Come on.
Come on, get natural.
Come up to the natural thing.
And the new Seville office.
Eric Wilkins will face Buddy Bell, Oscar Gamble, Jim Sundberg here in inning number 4. And listen to the hand for Buddy. Fans here appreciate the fine defensive work. Wind up by the right-hander. Pitch to Buddy is inside, ball 1. Buddy was hit by a pitch his first time up. Wilkins surrendered 2 runs in the second inning, but they were both unearned. 2-0 Rangers. High fly ball, center field. Rick Manning cruising in. He has it. 1 gone in the 4th inning. Here's Oscar Gamble. He was safe on Andre Thornton's error. And that sort of opened the doors for the Rangers to pick up a couple of runs. After there was a man out, Buddy was hit by a pitch. Ground ball to first base off the glove of Thornton. Put runners at first and at second, and Sundberg walked to load him up. A sacrifice fly put in 1 run. The base hit drove in another. Inside, ball 1. And it could have been a lot worse. After the hit by Norman made it 2-0, Wills lined a single to center field. Rick Manning charged in, picked it up, fired to home plate, and nailed Sundberg. Down too low with a fastball, 2-0. Wilkins with a fastball, a slider, and a forkball. Keeps the ball down very effectively, and that works well for him. 2-0 pitch. Fastball, a bit outside, 3-0. Jim Sundberg, the on-deck batter. Eric has struck out 1. He has walked a pair, and he's hit a batter. He has given up 2 base hits. 3-0 pitch. Oscar takes inside, ball 4. I don't think Oscar thought it was a ball. He was standing there. Now he goes to first base. 3rd walk issued by the Indian right-hander, and here's the catcher, Jim Sundberg. He drew the base on balls his first time up and then was nailed at home plate on the throw by Manning. You have to consider Rick has not really worked out very much since last Monday. Some throw. Yesterday was the first day he really worked out since last week. Go to first, back safely. Check on the runner at first. Sundberg takes the fastball low and inside, ball 1. Gamble walked. He's on at first. On deck, Pat Putnam, left-hand batter. Sundberg, right-handed, a throw to first and back safely. Eric Wilkins in spring training picked off 3 runners, and he has a very quick move to first base. Gamble, not much of a lead. Down too low. 2 balls, no strikes. Frank Lucchese coaching at third, flashes the signs to Jim Sundberg. Check to the runner at first, 2-0 pitch. Sundberg pops it up first base side. Drifting into foul territory is Dwayne Kuiper. Over on the warning path, he makes the grab. Andre was there, but he backed away quickly. Kuiper called him off. 2 men are down, and the batter, Pat Putnam, he drove a sacrifice fly to right center field his first time up. Picked up a run, batted in. Not an official time at bat.
First baseman, Pat Putnam.
Eric Wilkins. And the Indians trail 2-0 here in the fourth. Eric checks on the runner at first. Here's his delivery. Ground ball, right side, into right field, a base hit. Around second is Gamble. He'll hang on. Here's the throw back to second base. Dive and safe. Big turn at second by Gamble. Bobby Bonds fired it in. Kuiper grabbed the ball and dove for the bag. Gamble diving back at the same time. He got there first. So Putnam gets the base hit. The Indians had him played sort of up the middle. He drove the ball through the right side. Nelson Norman, the shortstop who had a base hit his first time up, and he drove in a run. Third hit allowed by Wilkins. There's a strike at the knees. Gamble at second. Putnam at first. Slider missed blowing away. Ball 1 and a strike. Nelson Norman batting at .400. One ball, 1 strike. Delivery. Swing and a miss. Good slider. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wilkins has 1 strikeout. He struck out Oliver in the first inning. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a foul back. Count holds. Ball 1, strike 2. Indians will be in Boston over the weekend, and actually Monday, too. They're off Friday. Play the Red Sox Saturday, Sunday, and Monday morning. Play an 11 o'clock game. That's the Patriots Day game, and that's the day they run the Boston Marathon. Shame we're playing, because Joe and I would certainly be out running in that. Inside, ball 2, 2-2.
You say that every year.
I know. I'm going to keep saying that every year.
Someday we're going to get an open date, and we're both going to look very bad when we don't show up.
We'd look worse if we showed up.
How true.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. I got to tell you, the fellows that running that and ladies that running that marathon, it's really to be commended. That is some physical task. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Eric backs off. Don't forget now, the Indians will be home next Tuesday afternoon at 12 o'clock against the same Texas Ranger Ball Club. And then Wednesday at 2. And Wednesday they have a big behind the fence party open to the public. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Eric Wilkins gets his second strikeout, and he puts the Rangers down in the 4th inning. No run. Rangers had 1 hit. No Indian errors, and 2 men left. We have played 4. The score, the Texas Rangers 2, the Cleveland Indians nothing.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83, and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
Hello, Mother Nature here to talk about your sweet smile and how you can keep
Mother Nature!
Dear, can I help you, Mr.
Decay. Tooth decay.
Tooth decay? You've got a nerve coming. What do you want?
A chance.
A chance?
If those kids don't stop flossing and brushing and choosing your healthful snacks, I'll be out of business.
Oh, stop sniffling.
What do you say, Mother Nature?
What do I say? Brush 'em with fluoride toothpaste and feed 'em my super snacks. You can have a happy smile all your life, naturally.
We go now into the Indians' half of the 5th inning. It'll be Alexander, Norris, and Cox. They try to get something going against the Rangers and Comer. Steve Comer's retired the last 6 in a row. He retired the first 6, then gave up a hit to Cox, and he's taking the next 6 right out.
Baltimore's batting on the last of the 9th with the Yankees leading 5-2.
Gary Alexander, first time up, popped to right field. Wind up and the pitch. Swing and a miss. Right-hander Steve Comer popping the fastball. Some of the upcoming events at the stadium. April the 22nd will be Jacket Day. Youngsters 14 and under with a box reserve the general admission ticket receive an attractive Indians jacket with the new Wahoo logo on it. That's Sunday, April the 22nd. Down below. And, of course, that April 22nd game will be played against the Chicago White Sox. They're in all weekend, the 20th, 21st, 22nd. First night game of the year will be Friday the 20th against the White Sox. First night game of the year in Cleveland, that is. 1 ball and a strike. Swing on that, strike 2.
If Tom Watson is a favorite going into tomorrow,
Really, that's behind the fence one.
then Hale Irwin has to be a top choice as one of his joining receivers. Irwin has played
Food will be served till the game begins at 2:05. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Inside and high. For the behind the fence luncheon, the menu will include hot dogs, hamburgers, potato salad, coleslaw, relish trays, soft drinks and coffee, all you can eat drinks, and the cost is $4.40. That's next Wednesday. Come on down and see us. Swing on it, strike 3. Oh, the youngest performer got a bigger fastball. Jerry Alexander goes swinging. That is the 4th strikeout by the right-hander. Here's Jim Norris. He grounded out to the third baseman, Buddy Bell. Norris has hit in all 4 games played by the Indians. Batting average currently at .353. Slider catching the outside corner, waist high, a strike. Buddy Bell is in on the grass at third. Buddy has taken about 2 base hits away from the Indians tonight, both off Rick Manning. Fly ball, center field. Oliver's there. He pounds the glove, and he has it. 2 men down in the 5th inning. That's 8 in a row that Comer's polished off. Here's Ted Cox, the only man to get a hit, the only man to reach base against him. Ted Cox getting a chance to play on an everyday basis, and is he delighted. We're in the 5th. The Indians are down 2-0. Swing and a miss on the curveball. Strike 1. Pittsburgh Pirates are playing the Phillies, and they're going to the 9th. It is Philadelphia 5 and Pittsburgh 4. Inside with a curveball, 1 ball and a strike. Wayne Kuiper on deck. Kuiper with that lead donut up on the barrel of the bat using rosin sack on his handle. And this one low and outside. 2 balls and a strike. Here in Texas, 330 to the foul line, 400 feet to center field, 370 to the power alley. 7-foot-high fence circling the ballpark. Outside and low, 3 balls and a strike. Right-hander checks the sign, goes to the windup. Strike 2, fastball right through the middle. Minnesota at California tonight. Goltz against Ryan. Minnesota beat the Angels last night 8-1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Put something off. And Cox goes swinging at 5 strikeouts for Coleman. He's retired 9 in a row. And so in the 5th inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the end of 4.5, it's Texas 2, Cleveland nothing.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83, and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
You're sending a letter cross country, or maybe a package cross town. Well, if you slip and forget the right zip, you just might slow it down. Check your address, is everything down? Make sure that there's nothing you skipped. Package or letter going to your farm. Up your mail with the right zip. Travel better in a letter with the right zip. On a package or a letter, travel better with the right zip.
Help the handicapped.
For the Texas Rangers, the top of the batting order, Will, Sample, and Oliver will face Eric Wilkins. Indians' rookie right-hander gave up 2 runs in the second inning. They were both unearned. And that is the story of the game thus far. 2-0 Rangers. Inning number 5. Wills is 1 for 2 in the game. Takes the fastball to strike. Toby Harrah playing at the edge of the infield grass. Line drive, center field. That's a base hit. That may have been the forkball. Somebody threw a smoke bomb of some kind on the field behind Rick Manning. Wills gets a base hit. That is his second. That is the fourth. That is the fourth of Wilkins, and we may get some activity in the Indian bullpen. Ron Hassey running down that way.
Left fielder, Billy Sample.
Is the left fielder, Bill Sample. Sample has grounded to third. He has walked. Wills, a definite threat to steal, leads the way at first. Pitch is a fastball too low. Wills last year picked off 52 stolen bases. Throw to first, he dives back safely. In his rookie year, he had 28. Sample right-hand batter. Ball 1. Throw to first, and he just gets back. He almost caught him leaning the wrong way. Gossage has come on to pitch for the Yankees in the 9th. They were leading 5-2 going into that 9th inning. Throw to first, back again with a dive. Wills is quick, and so is Eric Wilkins.
Those last 2 throws have been close.
You know, the secret of being a good base runner is to be able to get off just as far as you can and still get back. And that's what he's doing, barely getting back. Inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Bill Sample has checked with Frank Lucchese back in the batter's box. 2-0 pitch. Inside, almost hit him. Good stop by Gary Alexander. He dug down, a ball sailed right over the back of his head. 3-0. Might be that Eric is hurrying his pitches because of Wills being on first base and Gary Alexander going out to talk with him. And Al Oliver is on deck, so things will not get any better. Check to the runner, pitch. Outside, ball 4. That puts runners at first and at second with nobody out. And Al Oliver coming up. That is the 4th base on ball surrendered by Eric Wilkins. And in the bullpen, we have Don Hood up and throwing.
Dan Skolner is joining him.
Skolner will also throw. Here's Al Oliver. And here comes Jeff Torborg. He's going to have a talk with Eric Wilkins. Jeff wearing a blue nylon jacket as he heads to the mound. Temperature 67 degrees when we started. We haven't lost much. It's a rather pleasant evening here in Texas. Let's check the scoreboard while we have the chance. National League, 1 game rained out this afternoon. The Cubs at St. Louis. In 11 innings, it was Montreal 3, the Mets 2. Tonight in Atlanta, it is the Cincinnati Reds 9, the Atlanta Braves 4. The Reds are batting in the 8th. Pittsburgh's at Philadelphia with the Pirates batting in the 9th, and the Phillies lead them 5-4. Now the meeting on the mound is broken up. The Dodgers are in Houston tonight. At the end of 4, it's all tied up at 3. Later on, San Diego, San Francisco. We'll catch up with the American League in just a moment. Runners at first and at second. Nobody out. Al Oliver stands in. He is 0 for 2 in the game. Line drive down the right field line. That's going to be a Bouncing and holding up is Sample. In the second base for the double goes Oliver. Oh, that Sample, he came turning into third base. Lucchese was holding him up. I didn't think he was going to stop. Now Oliver continues to punish Indian pitching. He gets a double. Another run batted in. It's a 3-0 game now. Still nobody out, and here's Johnny Grubb.
Here comes Jeff Torborg.
And that will be all for Eric Wilkins. So the Indians rookie gets his baptism of fire here in this ball game. Eric Wilkins has been charged with giving up a total of 3 runs. He has been touched for 5 hits. He walked 4. And he struck out 2. He also hit a batter. He leaves with 2 men on as his responsibility. 2 of the 3 runs he has surrendered are unearned. Don Hood is coming on, and we'll be back to tell you about Don after we take this time out.
Left-hander Don Hood making his first appearance of the season. He's 6'2", 180 pounds, from Florence, South Carolina. Don last year won 5 and lost 6 in 36 games, covering 155 innings, an earned run average of 4.47. This spring, Don Hood in the spring training warfare down in Arizona was 1-1 in 5 games. That included a start at 3.97 ERA, pitched 11 1/3 innings, 9 hits, 5 runs all earned, struck out 5, and walked 4. Herb?
And he picks up from Eric Wilkins. Wilkins' record shows 4+ innings, 3 runs, 5 hits, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts with a hit batter. And, of course, the 2 men on base is responsibility. Don Hood picks up the sack of rosin, places it on the mound just behind the pitching rubber, now looks around at the infield to see where they're deployed, and will be facing Johnny Grubb. Grubb has grounded to the shortstop, hit one back to the mound that started a double play. Sample at third, Oliver at second. They both have good speed. Check to the runners, the pitch. Outside and low, ball 1. Lucchese coaching at third. Fred Koenig coaching on the first base side. Lucchese shouting something out to Oliver at second. They have Verizon almost playing behind the bag at second. Slider over the outside corner, a strike. Alexander bluffing a throw to third. Sample dives back in. Len Barker has joined Dan Spilner in the Indian bullpen. Time call, ball loose on the bullpen area, rolled in left field. Ron Hassey going over to get it.
Philadelphia knocked off the Pirates tonight 5-4.
Buddy Bell on deck. 1 ball and a strike to Grubb. 3-0. Rangers lead here in the 5th. The Indians trying to keep it from breaking it open. Runners at second and at third. Nobody out. The pitch. Curve breaks too low. Ball 2, strike 1. Breeze blowing in from right field. Not nearly as strong as it was last night. Check to the runners. 2-1 pitch. Bouncing ball at home plate, foul. Ball 2, strike 2. Don Hood gets the new baseball, rubs it up. Don takes the sign. 2-2 pitch. Fly ball behind the infield. Back goes Kuiper. On comes Bobby Bonds. The tag at third. Here's the catch by Bonds. Here's the throw. The runner goes back. Bobby Bonds firing at home, and Sample holds at third. 1 man down. And the batter, Buddy Bell. Oscar Gamble on deck.
The batter is the third baseman, Lawrence Bell.
We'll send along a station break as we wait for Buddy to get in the batter's box. Toby Harris talking with Don Hood. This is the Cleveland Indians Baseball Network.
This is a... Join Max Allen on the Mr. Max Show, weekday mornings, 5 till 10 a.m., right here on 3WJ, WWWJ, Johnstown.
They're going to put Buddy on, and already Pat Corrales has sent John Ellis into the on-deck position. The hit for Oscar Gamble. Buddy Bell will be given the intentional walk. Be the first walk allowed by Hood, fifth for Indian pitching. And we'll see John Ellis. John pinch hit last night, slide out. John has only been to bat that one time. And we'll see what Jeff Torborg does. He has two right-handers, Barker and Spillner, in the bullpen. John Ellis. Jeff standing on the lowest step of the dugout, and here he comes. He was waiting for the official announcement.
Number 9, John Ellis.
And let's see who he wants. He wants Dan Spillner. So that's going to be all for Don Hood. His work is brief. He pitches 1/3 of an inning. He walks one. Does not strike anybody out. Does not allow a hit. And Dan Spillner will be on to see if he can stop the Rangers with the bases loaded. One man out here in the 5th inning. We'll be back to tell you about Dan after we take this time out.
Buck Rogers in the 25th century. The right man in the right space at the right time. For 500 years, Buck Rogers has been saving himself for this moment. The future of the future depends on it. Buck Rogers in the 25th century. A universal release rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
Now showing at the Westerville 6 Cinemas in the Westerville Mall.
Come on down, look around, see what we've got on our lot. We're ready to deal for your new wheels, so bring some cash, and we will hash over a deal that will be a steal. See me, Robin, at McFarland Brothers Sales and Service, 2 miles south of Mount Vernon on Columbus Road. Your complete tractor-trailer sales and service center for new and used trucks and trailers and complete leasing service. That's McFarland Brothers, International Trucks, and Goodyear Tires just south of Mount Vernon on Route 3.
Washington, D.C., 20525. A public service of this station and...
Right-hander Dan Spillner on here in the 5th inning for the Cleveland Indians. Spillner making his second appearance of the year. He went 2 1/3 innings of shutout relief against the Boston Red Sox on Sunday. Spillner, 6'1", 190, last year with both San Diego and the Cleveland Indians. Spillner to face John Ellis in the 5th with Barker continuing to work in the bullpen.
John Ellis standing in. Right-hand batter, slightly closed stance, deep in the batter's box. Spillner will work out of the set position. Runners on all the bases. The pitch. Fastball is too high, ball 1. On deck is the catcher, Jim Sundberg. Rangers 3, Indians nothing. We are in the 5th. The Rangers threatening with the bases loaded and 1 man out. Check swing. Did he go around? Umpire at first base says he did not. The ball is high. 2-0. John, a very strong individual, able to stop that bat. Ellis hitting for the designated hitter, Oscar Gamble. Foul ball sliced off to the right out of play. For the sake of statistical numbers, the appearance by Ellis goes as an appearance by a DH and also as a pinch hitter. 2 balls and a strike. Pitch. Inside, 3-1. Now Spillner says, I'll try a new baseball. 3 balls and a strike. Ellis has said his look to the third base coach, Frank Lucchese. Ellis steps back in. Spillner set. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. 3-2. Good fastball by Spillner. 3 balls, 2 strikes. High pop back at the plate. It's going to be out of play, and we'll go to the 3-2 again. And Spillner, in relief of Don Hood, who relieved Eric Wilkins earlier this inning. 2 of the men on base belong to Eric. Runner at first, Buddy Bell, belongs to Don Hood. Outfield not playing Ellis to pull. They're giving him a lot of room on the left field line. 3-2 pitch. Side to center field. Back goes Manning. That's going to be deep enough to score the run. Manning grabs the ball. Here comes Sample. Holding at second is Oliver. And it's a 4-0 game. Johnny Ellis gets the job done. He gets the sacrifice fly to center. Picks up a run batted in. The run will be charged to Eric Wilkins. And the batter now will be the catcher, Jim Sundberg. Sundberg has walked, and he's fouled out to the second baseman down the right field line. Right-hand batter. Slider over the outside corner, strike. Haven't heard anything from Baltimore for some time. Baltimore batting in the ninth, trailing 5-2. Gossage came in the ninth, and it's been a long time since we had a report. 1 strike pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. In Kansas City, the Tigers have taken a 3-2 lead over the Kansas City Royals, with Kansas City batting in the 6th. 2 strikes on Jim Sundberg. Rangers leading 4-0 here in inning number 5. Indians have had only 1 hit in this game. Rangers have 5. Down too low. Baltimore tied the Yankees with 3 runs in the last half of the 9th inning, and they'll go to extra innings. Jim Palmer apparently still in the ballgame. Down too low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 2 men out, 2 men on for the Texas Rangers. Dan Spillner trying to get out of this jam. The delivery. Down too low. It's 3-2, full count, and the runners will be going. This inning started with Bump Wills getting a base hit. Sample walked. Oliver doubled home 1 run. That was off Eric Wilkins. Grubb fly to right off Hood, and he walked Bell intentionally. On came Spillner. There go the runners. Foul ball at home plate. Spillner gave up a sacrifice fly to Ellis, and now he's 3-2 on Sundberg. Runners at first and at second. Last report down the road in Houston. It is 3-3, the Dodgers and the Astros, with the Houston Astros batting in the 5th. And the Phillies defeated the Pirates tonight 5-4. Carlton over Blyleven. Ball 3, strike 2. There they go. Ground ball, third base side. Harris charging, gloves it. Hurries his throw. They get him at first. The side retires. In the inning, the Rangers pick up a couple of runs, but it could have been a lot worse. 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no Indian errors. The Rangers leave a pair. We have come through 5 innings here in Texas to score. The Texas Rangers 4, the Cleveland Indians nothing.
Nobody quite like you. You got your own thing to do. You like your beer light and clear, refreshing like mountain air. You like your blue jeans older, like your mountains colder. Head for the mountains of bush. Reach out and you'll be here. Just reach out and you'll be here in the mountains of Bushville.
Indians come to bat in inning number 6. They have only had one hit off this tough right-hander, Steve Comer. That was a single by Cox in the 3rd inning. And since that time, he has knocked off 9 men in a row. In 5 innings, he's faced only one over the minimum. He's faced 16 batters, striking out 5 of them. Dwayne Kuiper, Tommy Verizon, and then Toby Harrah. Dwayne Kuiper popped up to Buddy Bell his first time.
Philadelphia 76ers knocked off New Jersey tonight in their first playoff game, 122 to 114.
That's the best out of 3, isn't it?
Right.
The Cleveland leadoff batter
is Dwayne Kuiper.
Houston leads Atlanta at halftime, 57 to 51.
I was reading in the paper today, Joe, the fellow who's contemplating buying the Houston franchise says that if he buys it and the deal goes through, he's firing the general manager.
Right.
Line drive, right center field, chasing over is Oliver, still going. He reaches out and he grabs it. Dwayne Kuiper out on a fly ball to center. Here's Tommy Verizon. That's 10 in a row this right-hander's knocked off. $12,784 the attendance here tonight. Here's Tommy Verizon, right-hand batter. Line drive, left field. Back goes Sample. He is there, and he has it. Well, if it's any consolation, he needs to at least hit the ball hard this inning. Kuiper hit it hard, and Verizon just hit it right on the nose, but all they've had is 2 outs. Here's Toby Harrah. He has struck out twice against this right-hander. You know, baseball is a funny game, no question about it, Joe. All the scouting and so forth. Here's a young man, Steve Comer, who was not drafted. 786 players were drafted that year, and he wasn't one of them. And here he is in the major leagues. Last year, he was 11-5.
Got a note, Herb. In that New Jersey-Philly game, there were 7 technical fouls called. John Williamson, Kevin Lockery, and the New Jersey trainer were all thrown out of the game.
Oh, it's too high. Now, that's when things are going bad, when they throw the trainer out. Charlie Strasser, beware. Fastball on outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Maybe things got so bad he decided to get out of there.
Could be.
2-0. Toby Harrah waits. Takes it inside, 3-0. Comer has not walked about it yet. He has struck out 5. Harrah with a 3-0 count, 2 out in the 6th inning. Right through the middle. 3-1. 4-0. That's the score, and the Rangers have the 4. 2 in the 2nd inning, 2 more in the 5th. Ground ball, foul over near the Indian dugout, goes into the Indian dugout. Indians on the 3rd base side. Rangers on the 1st base side.
Cesar Cedeno just hit a 3-run homer, and Houston leads the Dodgers 6-3 after 5.
That was at the expense of Don Sutton. Yankees have failed in the 10th. Ball and 1 now batting. 3 balls, 2 strikes. A windup to Toby Harrah. Check swing, and hits the bat and is fouled off. One bounce came into the glove of Sundberg behind home plate. Umpire John James will give home plate a little bit of a dusting. Three and 2. Comer winds it up. Fly ball down the left field line. It's going to be foul in the seats out of play. Count remains ball 3 and strike 2. Indians have had 1 hit off the right-hander. He has retired the last 11. He's retired 17 of the 18 men he's faced, so he has been more than effective. Manning, the on-deck batter. Curveball is too low, and the Indians get their first base on balls. They break the string at 11. Harrah's at first. Here's Rick Manning. He has grounded out to Buddy Bell. Buddy made a good play going to his right for that one, and then he hit a line shot that looked like it was ticketed for at least a double, and Buddy Bell somehow leaped and backhanded the ball, and here comes the manager, Pat Corrales. It's pretty tough. You walk one guy after getting 11 in a row, you're leading 4-0, the manager come out to talk to you.
Doyle Alexander was a little upset after the quick hook last night. Well, Corrales, I heard Corrales interviewed on the radio today, and he said he really intended Comer to only go about 5 or 6 tonight. That's all he really hoped for.
He might be just checking to see if he's strong enough. Pat Corrales, of course, has paid his dues, as they say. He's been around the major leagues a long time, player and coach. Very fine young man, and he's 38 years old, and he knows pitching. Rick Manning stands in. The pitch to him is up high, ball 1. Buddy Bell in on the grass at third.
Going to get action in the Texas bullpen. Ed Farmer is warming up.
Check on the run of the pitch. Swing and a miss. Whenever I see Ed Farmer, I picture Rod Carew stealing home in Minnesota. I'll never forget that
you and me
as
both.
long as I live.
Rocky Calavino and I were working TV that summer. I was filling in for Harry Jones, and Rocky and I sat in the booth that night. You were working radio, and Rocky called that one.
I did the same
before it
happened. The same thing. I said he's going to steal home, and everybody in the ballpark knew it but Farmer. The pitch is foul back at a play. Harrah was going on it, and it'll be in the seats down below it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Rick Manning, left-hand batter, with a ball, 2-strike count. Comer comes to the plate, up too high, 2-2. We are in the 6th. The Rangers have been in command. They lead 4-0. 2 men out. Harrah's at first. The pitch. Line drive, right field. Coming on is Johnny Grubb. He spears it. You know, the Indians hit the ball harder this inning than they have in any other inning this game. 3 line drives and a walk. But 3 of the line drives all caught. So in the inning, no runs, no hits, no errors, a walk and a man left. The Indians have only left 2 in this game. At the middle of the 6th, it is Texas 4, Cleveland nothing.
When you get your car fixed at Shell Auto Care, you get something you wouldn't expect. A written, limited warranty. It guarantees parts and labor for 90 days or 4,000 miles of normal driving, whichever comes first. Any problems? Bring your car and your warranty back to Shell. They'll do the work over or refund every penny you've paid. Now, seriously, did you expect it? It's Shell. Everything you never expected car repairs to be.
Sunset in the mountains. The sparkling waters in each stream slowly turning to shining gold. The high craggy peaks quietly glow in the fading light. And a stillness falls like a soft, secret snow. It's time to sit back, relax, and feel good about the day. Sunset in the mountains. Don't miss it.
And over the mountains of Bush
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Last half of the 6th inning, Pat Putnam, Nelson Norman, then the top of the batting order, Bump Wills to face Dan Spillner. In Baltimore, Paul Mirabella has come on to pitch for the Yankees in the 10th, so Baltimore might be stirring something up. He relieved Rich Gossage. Pitch to Putnam's a strike at the knees. Putnam in the game is 1 for 1 with a sacrifice fly. And a run batted in, obviously. Wind up by the Indian right-hander. Slider breaks low and inside. It's a ball and a strike. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Rangers. No runs, a hit, and 1 error for the Indians. Fastball is high. 2 balls, a strike. Left-hand hitting Pat Putnam. Fly ball, left center field. Manning cruising to his right. Teddy Cox is there. Ted calls, and he has it. 1 man down in the 6th inning for the Rangers. And we'll take a look at the shortstop, Nelson Norman. He singled home a run in the 2nd inning, and he struck out swinging his next time up. George Doc Medich now warming up in the bullpen for the Texas Rangers. Fastball, strike over the outside corner. Down too low with a curveball. 1 ball and a strike. Nelson Norman, right-hand batter. He has a slow stance. Feet are fairly close together. Down below the knees, over the plate. Ball 2 and a strike. Stillner works quickly. Ground ball back past the mound. Coming on is Verizon. He has it. Fires over to Thornton. And 2 men down. 6-3 on that out. 2 gone in the 6th. And here's Bump Wills. He's had a pretty good night. He lined out to the second baseman. And since that time, he's had 2 base hits to center field. He has scored 1 run. Switch hitter batting left-handed. Harrop moves in on the grass at third. Outside and low ball. Wind up by the Indian right-hander. Inside and low. Beg your pardon, call that a strike. This one is off the inside part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Down on the bullpen, Ed Farmer, who had sat down, is up and throwing again along with Doc Medich. Foul ball down the right side, screaming into the seats along the right field line.
Baltimore obviously doing something in the 10th because Gossage went into the 10th and Mirabella and Tidrow have both come on in the 10th.
I would say they have something moving. 2-2 pitch. Outside, it's 3-2. On deck, Bill Sample. 3-2 delivery. Bouncing ball, first base side. Andre knocks it down, picks it up, throws to Stillner covering. They get Bump Wills, and they get the Texas Rangers in the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We go to the 7th to score. The Texas Rangers 4 and the Cleveland Indians nothing.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83 and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
It's different. It's exciting. It's the kind of club that you wish you'd known about sooner. Marco Polo, the Super Disco for people over 21, with the finest selection of current music and the sound system unconditionally guaranteed to shake your senses and your soul. Every Wednesday is Ladies' Night, and happy hour lasts all day long. Marco Polo, 1605 West 5th Avenue in Columbus, right across from North Star.
Scored the Atlanta Braves 9-5. Pastore came on in the 9th inning. That young man has pitched very well for Cincinnati thus far. In fact, picked up a save according to this wire report. Hume was the winner. Bobby Bonds in the 7th inning as the Indians trying to get something cranked up against Steve Comer, who has given up 1 hit and 1 walk over the first 6 innings of play. First pitch, Bonds slaps it to third. Bell the pickup, high throw, but Putnam reaches up and grabs it. Bonds retired for the 3rd time on a ground ball. 1 away in the 7th, and here comes Andre Thornton. Andy has bounced to the shortstop and struck out swinging in 2 previous trips.
Andre Thornton.
4-0 in favor of the Texas Rangers. And we're in the top half of the 7th inning. Wind up by Comer in the pitch, and Thornton wraps the ball foul beyond the third base dugout. Strike 1. Sparky Lyle now up in the bullpen along with Ed Farmer. Young man reached over the railing and beat the ball boy to the ball with his hat. Swing and a miss by Andy. Thornton with strike 2. They had only 3,000 people tonight in Cincinnati, in Atlanta, to see that game with the Reds. The pitch. Thornton swing and a miss on a bad pitch. Sundberg dropped the ball, picked it up, and tagged Andy. 2 outs in the 7th inning. Well, in the 6th, it really began to look as though the Indians might be breaking through on the right-hander Comer, primarily because they were at least hitting the ball hard. They were hitting it at people, but they were hitting hard. But now, in the 7th inning, Comer has again appeared to be master of the situation and has 2 quick outs, nobody on, and Alexander, with the first pitch, pops it up foul. Sundberg and Putnam getting together. Putnam, the first baseman, makes the running catch in foul ground onto the warning path in front of the first base dugout, and the side is retired.
So it's making it look easy.
3 up, 3 down. And at the end of 6 1/2 innings of play, it's Texas 4, Cleveland nothing.
At Shell Auto Care, being good with your hands isn't good enough. Their mechanics have to pass tests for brake work, tune-ups, air conditioning, and front-end work. They have to be certified by Shell, the National Institute for Automotive Service Excellence. You know, it's funny. A lot of people don't expect much from mechanics, but they're the people who haven't been to Shell Auto Care. It's everything you never expected car repairs to be.
Inning, Sample, Oliver, and Grubb will test the right-hander Dan Spillner. We have seen Wilkins, Hood, and Spillner for the Indians. Defensively for the Tribe, Thornton at first, Kuiper at second, Verizor at short, Toby Hare at third, Cox in left, Manning in center, Bonds in right, Gary Alexander catching. Sample bounced to third of the first inning, walked in the third, and walked and scored in the 5th. So he is officially 0 for 1 tonight. Kansas City, pointed by
WCDO, second.
One away. Here he didn't even drop the mask. He just stepped to his right, nonchalantly caught the pop foul. Nothing to it. Here's Al Oliver with a strikeout, a fielder's choice, and a double down the right field line that drove in the run. High drive, left center field, but Cox to his left makes the catch. 2 outs for the 7th. Spillner has done very well.
Yes, he has. Danny early in the spring looked like he was not really popping the baseball. Didn't have good velocity. About the last 2 times out during spring training, he really fired. And he's going good here again tonight.
Johnny Grubb, a bouncer to the shortstop, a 1-6-3 double play, and a fly ball to right. Spillner throws, Grubb takes the strike. Strike 1. Now the tandem in the Texas bullpen now, Sparky Lyle and Doc Medich. Strike 1 pitch. Grubb fouls one back over the screen into the seats below us, and the count is strike 2. On half of the 7th inning, 4-0, Texas leads. Picked up 2 in the 2nd and 2 more in the 5th. Wind up and the pitch. Grubb, check swing, and too far, strike 3. Oh, Spillner records his first strikeout, the 3rd by Indian pitching, and the inning is over. 1, 2, 3. That's 8 in a row retired by Dan Spillner. And at the end of 7, it is still Texas 4, Cleveland nothing.
How do you pick a good house from the rest? How can you tell if you get what you pay for?
When you see the house symbol, we're looking at a house with a 10-year protection plan, a decade of protection and peace of mind. So look for the house symbol. It means you're covered for a long time.
The homeowner's warranty, that's how.
Fisher & Son Incorporated, the area's only Howe builder, exclusively represented by McMahon Real Estate Company.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83, and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
Well, Steve Comer, after going 7 fine innings, is relieved. They're bringing on Sparky Lyle. Joe mentioned a while ago, Comer's not pitched that much recently. They don't want to force him, take a chance on doing some damage. He has only allowed 1 hit over the first 7 innings, walked 1, struck out 6. He leaves, and he can be the pitcher of record on the winning side. He can't lose it. And on to pitch comes Albert Walter Sparky Lyle. Sparky, 6'1", about 195 pounds. He is now 34 years old. But the Yankees last year won 9 and lost 3 with an earned run average of 3.47. He is the only relief pitcher to ever be a Cy Young Award winner. He's pitching 680 games in the major leagues, all out of the bullpen. He will face the Indians here in the 8th.
And he'll face Jim Norris for openers and feeds him low, ball 1. Last year was the first year that I can recall that Lyle had trouble with the Indians. There's a pitch high, and it's 2-0. He was 0-1 against the Tribe, but I don't really remember at any time that he showed that mastery that he had previously.
Didn't pitch that much either.
Pitch is a strike to the inside corner. 2-1. Well, there have been days in the past when Sparky just walk out there, flip the glove on the mound, and it'd be all over. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Chopped foul back to the base of the screen. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Well, since they've been compiling the save statistics back in 1966, he has saved 194 games. That's more than anybody on record.
All right, Comer really did a number tonight. 7 innings of 1-hit ball.
Good sinking fastball, good changeup, fine slider, and outstanding control. What more do you need?
2 balls, 2 strikes. Wind up in the pitch. Norris wraps it on 1 hop to the mound. Grabbed by Lyle, runs toward first, flips the ball over to Putnam, and there's 1 away in the 8th inning. Now this brings up Ted Cox. Cox slapped a single to center field and struck out in 2 previous trips. That base hit by Ted Cox, the only hit of Texas pitching tonight. Medich continues to work in the bullpen. Wind up by Lyle, and the first pitch, strike 1.
Sparky Lyle will throw that slider any time, any part of the ball game. Doesn't make it even what the count is, what the situation is.
Strike 1 pitch, inside, 1-1.
One of those sliders, it doesn't break big, but it's quick and it goes down. Moves into the right-hand batter.
Wind up by Lyle, the 1-1 offering to Ted Cox. Chops the ball toward the shortstop. Bell cuts in front of him. Buddy on the run throws. He's out. Buddy Bell has put on a bit of a fielding show here tonight for the Rangers. He made a play on a line drive off the bat of Manning back in the 4th inning that Manning just could not believe. Here's Kuiper, a pop-up to the third baseman and a fly ball to the center fielder. Zipped for 2 on the night. Texas leading 4-0. They've out-hit the Indians 5-1. Wind up. Lyle's pitch, a fastball. Strike of the knee, strike 1. Putnam at first, Wills at second, Norman at short, Bell in the grass at third, Sample in left, Oliver in center, Grubb in right, Sundberg catching, Lyle pitching, strike 1 to Kuiper, check swing, and checked in time. A check with the third base umpire, Jeff Brown, and he says he did check in time. 1 ball, 1 strike. The pitch, again a fastball, again low, 2-1 the count. Tom Verizon on deck. Wind up, 2-1 pitch. Kuiper lifts a foul fly out of play to the left side. That'll be in the chairs. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The same Texas Rangers will be in Cleveland for day ball next Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday the 17th at 12:05, and Wednesday the 18th at 2:05 p.m. Rangers come back again in early August. That will include a Sunday doubleheader on August the 5th. And we'll be back down here for 3-night games over a weekend in mid-August. Wind up with a 2-2 pitch. Kuiper wraps the bouncer back to Wills. Gets it on the second big hop. Throws the first. Kuiper's gone, and so are the Indians. 1-2-3 in the 8th. At the end of 7.5 innings of play, Texas 4, Cleveland nothing.
Hey, listen to this. It's new from Daly's. It's the fruit-flavored drink, Little Hug. A little barrel of fun and flavor. Choose orange, grape, cherry, lemon lime, or punch.
Just look for the little barrel at your store. And hey now, save those little barrels to keep stuff in. Stuff like crayons, pencils, buttons, toys, and whatever. Give your loves a little hug from Daly's. And say, don't forget Daly's year after year favorite, Daly's Concentrate. The regular size bottle makes 26 glasses and comes in 8 different flavors. The gallon-size concentrate makes 104 glasses of delicious drink and comes in 7 flavors. Costs only about 3 cents a glass. Thirsty? Quench it with Daly's Concentrate. No sugar needed.
In the 8th inning against Dan Spillner, Bell, Ellis, and Sundberg. And to the bullpen for the Indians, Victor Cruz starts to warm up. Wind up by Spillner, and the pitch to Buddy Bell. Foul ball back up into the second section behind home plate. Strike 1. Buddy tonight has been hit by a pitch toward the first Texas run, slide to center field, and was intentionally walked. Takes low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Buddy 1 for 5 in this series, but he has been bordering on spectacular with his glove. 1-1 pitch. A strike. Knee-high outside corner. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Spillner looks in and gets the sign. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Buddy. Low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Spillner cranks it up. 2-2 pitch to Buddy. Steve Reich, 3 knee-high. Alexander fires that ball down to Toby Harrah at third. And Buddy Bell walks slowly back to the third base dugout. 2 strikeouts for Spillner.
That's 9 in a row. He's polished off.
John Ellis came on to bat for Oscar Gamble in the DH role back in the 5th inning of play. Lifted a sacrifice fly ball to center field, scoring Sample. So Ellis comes to bat now for the 2nd time, and the 1st time against Spillner. Fouls it back to the screen, strike 1. Looking ahead to the 9th, Verizor, Harrah, and Manning do against Sparky Lyle. Wind up, and Spillner's pitch. Check swing, ball hits the bat, skips right by the guys gathered at the far end of the third base dugout and up into the seats. Strike 2. Randy Jones against the Count of Montefusco tonight in San Francisco. Comes the 0-2 pitch to Ellis. Fastball inside, 1-2.
During spring training, the Count was really firing the baseball.
Spillner ready. Nods at the sign from Alexander. The 1-2 pitch to John Ellis is low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Victor Cruz throwing in the bullpen for the Indians. The 2-2 pitch to Johnny Ellis. Flips a fly ball into short right center. Kuiper back waving. The outfielders away. Makes the backpedaling catch. 2 out. Jim Sundberg walked and was thrown out on the plate in the 2nd inning when a single to center field by Bump Wills set up Sundberg's scamper to the plate from second, and Manning threw him out. Sundberg then fouled out to Kuiper in the 4th inning and bounced to the third baseman in the 5th. Comes to bat here with 2 outs and nobody on in the home half of the 8th. Texas leading 4-0. Wind up and the pitch. Low ball 1. Rangers have out-hit the Indians tonight 5-1. The only base hit, Ted Cox with a single in the 3rd inning. 1-0 pitch. T. Reich, fastball, knee-high. Last of the 8th. Medich has finished his work in the Texas bullpen. 1-1 pitch. Sundberg takes low. 2-1. Pat Putnam on deck. Tomorrow night, Herb and I will be right back here with you. Should be a dandy. Waite and Jenkins. 8:35 for the first pitch in Cleveland. 2-1 pitch here, and Sundberg takes outside. 3-1. Home half of the 8th. Wind up for the next pitch. Sundberg pops it up. Back goes Harrah. Over comes Verizor, the shortstop. At the foul line behind third base, makes the catch in fairground. Sundberg pops to the shortstop to retire the side. 3 up, 3 down. And we're going to the 9th at Arlington. The score, Texas 4, Cleveland 0.
There's a four-wheel drive vehicle with the brisk handling of a subcompact car. Come on into McFarland Brothers, just south of Mount Vernon on Route 3 and 36, and test drive Scout 2. Highly maneuverable four-wheel drive. It's got the turning circle of a subcompact car. Yet inside Scout 2, there's 82 cubic feet for cargo. Test drive Scout 2 now at McFarland Brothers.
Aware. 30 seconds on depression.
I wonder if I'm depressed.
Chronically depressed people show many secondary symptoms, such as fatigue, insomnia, and hyperirritability. Depressed people find it hard to hold a job, eat properly, or laugh.
I guess I'm depressed.
For a free report on the various ways to treat depression, write AWARE, Box 55, Los Angeles, California, 90053. AWARE, a human concern project. The Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Have a change for the Texas Rangers at first base. Mike Jorgensen comes on to play at first base. Baltimore came up with a run in the 10th and beat the Yankees 6-5. Stanhouse over Gossage. Stanhouse came on in the 10th inning of play. Rick Dempsey had the game-winning RBI in that one, getting his former teammates. Well, here's the ninth. Verizon 0 for 2 with a fly ball to center and a line drive to left. Takes the first pitch for a strike from Sparky Lyle. Strike one.
Fine job of work by the Indian right-hander, Dan Spillner. He worked 3 2/3 innings. And he retired everybody that he faced. Marked off 11 men in a row.
2 strikes to count. Right-hand batter. Wind up by Lyle. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Ball bounced foul over to the Fat Boy. Lyle goes out behind the mound. Now turns his attention to home plate. Winds up and throws. And Verizon chops another foul over to the third base dugout. The count remains at 0-2. Lined up by Sparky Lyle. And the pitch, Verizon bangs the ball back to Nelson Norman, who picks it up and throws him out.
Say, Nelson Norman may be a fine young ball player, but it seems to me he takes a long time getting rid of the baseball. We've had a lot of close plays at first base where you wouldn't normally think they should be so close.
Right. Toby Hara struck out twice and walked once. When he walked in the 6th, it ended a string of 11 in a row retired by Steve Comer, the starter. To say that Steve Comer was impressive is putting it mildly. A one-hitter over 7 innings. First pitch is a strike to Toby Hara, strike one.
7 innings, Comer faced only 23 batters, giving up 1 hit and 1 walk.
Wind up, strike one pitch. Hara pops it foul. That one should make the seats behind the first base dugout, and it does, with Jorgensen and Sundberg coming over. We are in the 9th. The Indians very rapidly running out of time. Trailing 4-0. Toby Hara ready, slightly closed right-hand stance. Lyle wheels and deals, and Hara chops the ball foul over in front of the third base dugout. The Fat Boy over there getting a lot of business. End of 3. Atlanta has battled back to take an 89-85 lead at Houston in the NBA. Breaking ball high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 pitch. Hara fouls another one out of play to the right. Down in the Astrodome tonight, Houston leads Los Angeles 6-3, batting in the 8th. Wind up on the pitch, and Toby Hara wraps one down the third base line to Buddy Bell. The long throw in time. There are 2 outs in the 9th inning of play. And this will bring up Rick Manning. Manning has bounced to third, been robbed of a hit on a great diving grab by Buddy Bell, and then lined to the right fielder in the 6th inning of play. Left-hander Sparky Lyle against the left-hand batting Rick Manning. First pitch, Rick takes low, ball one. Next delivery, and Manning takes a strike with the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs and nobody on in the ninth. A 1-1 pitch. Manning chops the ball foul into the first base dugout. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lyle waiting now for another baseball. On our 10th inning show coming up, Herb Score will be chatting to a man in the know, Dick Butler, the supervisor of umpires.
Find out something about the umpiring situation, I suppose. I hope.
Sparky Lyle with a 1-2 count. The pitch to Manning, shoots one foul into the seats on the left, and it's still 1 ball, 2 strikes. This is the ninth at Arlington. Wind up by Sparky Lyle on the 1-2 pitch to Manning. Swinging a foul back on the screen. Still a ball and 2 strikes. Manning playing in his first game of the year. Had a throat infection and had to miss the first 4 outings. Tonight he has gone 0 for 3, but he's hit the ball hard, and he's also made 1 outstanding throw from the outfield. Here's the windup and the 1-2 pitch. Manning takes high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the 2-2 offering by Lyle to Manning. Chopped down the first base line. Lyle comes quickly, picks up the ball, pulls him out of the game. 1-2-3 in the ninth. The final score. The Texas Rangers 4, and for the second straight night, the Indians nothing. And we'll be back to wrap it up after this timeout.
What's the easiest, most economical way to get the crew to the game? In a van, a Dodge van. And they're just $46.58 today at Spitzer Dodge. Bill Gayhart and Spitzer Dodge are celebrating 75 years in the automobile business by giving you what may be the lowest prices ever on Dodge trucks and vans. Over 150 to choose from. Tough Dodge trucks just $41.83, and Dodge vans only $46.58. Come in and see us today at Spitzer Dodge in Columbus.
You've heard the old saying, prevention is the best medicine. We'll solve some of the problems your car may have before they happen with a bumper-to-bumper auto inspection from Merle's Union 76 on the square in Johnstown. Merle's Union 76 will check the brakes, belts, exhaust, and everything around and in between your car. And, of course, you'll receive only the best guaranteed service on any work your car may need. In the long run, you'll save money by having a periodic bumper-to-bumper inspection at Merle's Union 76. Master Charge and Visa are honored. It's at Merle's Union 76 open Monday through Saturday, 7 to 9, Sundays, 9 till 7.
For tonight's ball game, and the Texas Rangers wipe out the Indians. The Ranger pitching staff has now put together 23 consecutive scoreless innings, and the Indians have been unable to score in the last 21 innings. Tomorrow night, hopefully, those statistics can be altered. I'll tell you more about that a little bit later. Here's the way it went tonight. For the Texas Rangers, 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors. They left 6. For the Cleveland Indians, no runs, just 1 base hit. A Ted Cox single in the 3rd inning. The Tribe stranded 6. Starter and loser for the Cleveland Indians in his Major League debut, Eric Wilkins, 0-1. Of the 4 runs Wilkins surrendered, 2 of them unearned. And the winning pitcher, Steve Comer, who pitched the 1-hit ball over the first 7 innings. Sparky Lyle came on to finish it up. He will not receive credit for a save in as much as he went only the 2 innings, but he did put together a fine performance in relief. Typical Sparky Lyle show. So the Rangers have now won 3 in a row at the outset of the season, and the Indians have gone to 1-4. We'll tell you how the runs scored right after we take this time out.